So you looked for a house, you're pre-approved, you're ready to go. Next thing you need to do, this is shameless propaganda, you have to find a good real estate agent. Hint, hint. And there's a few of them in the room here. Okay. But really what has to happen is physically you have to make an offer. Now the easiest way to think about this is that you go out and you see a house you really like, and you say to Suzanne or whoever you're working with, I would like to make an offer on this property, and the property is listed at X, and I'd like to offer Y. And these professional agents around here are going to say to you, well, you know, I'd do this because I've seen this happen before, or I've done my due diligence, and I think we could probably get in for this. I mean, that's what a real estate agent does to help you negotiate and to make a good offer. That's one of the things they do. So you're going to make an offer in writing, and it's going to be accompanied by something called, in our industry, we call it EMD, Earnest Money Deposit. And the reason for that is that in real estate law, you must have consideration when you make an offer to buy real estate, and that's called consideration or money. And that money will be held in such a manner that if the terms of the escrow are not met, it can be forfeited, and there are all kinds of contingencies all along this contract to protect you from losing that money. But you know, the seller is saying, well, how do I know they really want to buy this house? You know, how do I hold their feet to the fire? And you're saying, here's why. I'm making this commitment to you that if you meet all of my things, I'll follow through with the sale. That earnest money deposit is part of your down payment and closing costs. You know, it's kept in that fashion. Okay. Well, when you make your offer, it's not always going to be that the seller or the seller's agent says, hey, great, let's do it. They may come back to you. That's called a counteroffer. So the seller's or the seller's agent responds to you, you've offered $500,000, they come back and they go, $525,000. You know, it's like a bargaining moment. You're going to meet with your professional real estate agent who's representing you, and you're going to decide what to do about that. And you'll probably call me and say, well, if I did go $5,000 higher, what would my payment be? You know, what's the effect on my finances? That's one of the things you're certainly going to want to know. So you get a counteroffer. Maybe you respond by accepting it, or maybe you counter back, and it goes back and forth and back and forth. But the last person to sign that just accepts it creates a binding contract. You could have 10 offers, 10 counteroffers, you could have no counteroffers. You could offer and have acceptance. Once you do that, you have a binding contract, and that's when escrow opens. So now an escrow company, who's an independent third party, stands between the buyer and the seller. Escrow company is going to open escrow. They're going to hold your money, and they're going to tell the buyer that you have to do certain things. They're going to have to tell the seller you have to do certain things, and they're going to watch to make sure that all happens. They're like a traffic cop. Once the escrow is opened, we go all the way through escrow. We do all the conditions, all the things we talked about with lending. You're doing home inspections. There's a million things that you'll be doing that your agents can explain to you. But when you get down to the end, that loan funds by Bank of America wiring money into escrow. And they then send it to the title company who records the deed, and the escrow closes and you own your house.